Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Timeless Podcast YouTube channel here today. Today, I'm here with John again, obviously, and we're here to discuss the 2023 Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Obviously, it came out last night or this morning for us here in the UK, and a lot of other people places in Europe, and I suppose Australia would be afternoon, I suppose. So, yeah, lots of different time zones. But the Rumble was on last night, and John, overall thoughts first of all.
Booyaka and indeed Shah. Overall thoughts. I mean, it's the Royal Rumble, isn't it? It's never gonna fail to entertain. It's very hard to give overall thoughts to this one for reasons. I mean, I know this is going to be a long video, but for reasons that we're going to go into, it's very hard to give overall thoughts for this one because I think it was very much about one moment.
Yeah.
And I'll get on to my thoughts on that moment when we get there. But I'm resoundingly positive about last night's show. Was it predictable? Kind of, yes, because every single prediction that I made on Friday's podcast came true. Alex got a match wrong, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I went 5 for 5 on it. So was it predictable? But it's not always about the outcomes of the matches, and actually two really good quality battle royal matches, a very good unified title match, a decent women's title match, and a nice gimmick match in your Mountain Dew lights out. Although the lights aren't really out, it's just everybody
Just
under a blue light, but it does enable one of the commentators to make a joke about piss.
Yep.
Why?
I mean, I knew I was gonna love this show as soon as straight away they're like, it's the men's rumble match, and you hear Pat McAfee, and I thought he was number one. I thought he wasn't number one. I thought he was number one. I was like, yes, I'm buzzing. I saw him come out in his suit. But Pat McAfee's back, so I'm gonna give myself a half correct prediction on that one. I thought he would.
You did refer to him as the GOAT last night, and I think that Jim Ross might want a little word, so you can take that half point back off of yourself.
I don't think he's actually the GOAT. However, Pat McAfee back on commentary was really good. He got to say the word cock, and then I assume got told off very quickly afterwards because he never. He said, he went, "Are we allowed to say that on here?"
Was it also him that made the piss joke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Michael Cole essentially called Dominic a little shit at one point, and that was it. But no, we kick off with the men's.
Quite a lot of swearing in this show, actually.
There was, yeah. We kicked off with the men's 29-man Royal Rumble match this year. And we started off, really, really strong. I think, say with Walter or Gunther and Sheamus, which it's a very nice one too, to be honest. Obviously, I predicted Seth and Cody. You didn't, but
Well, I mean, we kind of got to that moment, though, didn't we?
we got there at the end. Yeah, they
Yeah,
kind of just flipped it.
and I mean, it didn't quite play out how I thought it would either, because I was like, there's going to be a point when they clean house in the middle, and it's going to be those two. But we got there in the end.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely, absolutely. Throughout the Rumble, we had some really nice spots. Unfortunately, for the second show in a row, Kofi's save spot got botched. I hope Kofi's okay, but that fall didn't look great.
I mean, I think I guess we need to highlight Lesnar coming in and being immediately eliminated by Lashley, which
Yeah.
I called. I texted you straight after Lesnar came out. I texted you, said, "Yep, Lashley's up next," and they're clearly setting those two up for something big at Mania.
Yep.
Which is good because it means that Brock's out the title picture, which can only be good. The Edge return, which again we touched on and we called, and I even called when that was going to happen. I
Yep.
sat there and went, "You think you know me?" under my breath, and out he came, and that fucking sick spot with Ricochet and Logan Paul. Oh, wow. Two guys launching themselves over the top rope from the apron on opposite side of the rings and literally meeting in the middle in midair. and just dropping like paperweights. It
Yeah,
was, it was, this is the 35th Royal Rumble, and yet you'd still get to see something new, and it was insane.
yeah, absolutely. I thought it was cool to see Logan back. I mean, this guy's a machine. 6 weeks after a tore MCL and ACL, and already back in the Rumble. Obviously, he wasn't in it for too long, but he did some insane stuff when he was there. But no,
Yeah,
I think Logan now. I think we can definitely say that we're definitely going to get a good performance from him. He got eliminated. He eliminated Seth Rollins kind of cheekily. So is that where Seth's Mania path lies? I wouldn't be against a
it,
Seth Logan
yeah,
match.
it could be because I think we're going to need something for Seth to do. Because obviously Cody would have been the obvious path, but ladies and gentlemen, Cody Rhodes is going to be busy at WrestleMania
Yes.
because I've predicted on this show, Cody Rhodes came out on number 30 and won it. Quite often when somebody comes out at number 30, especially if they come back from injury, it feels like a bit of a cheap victory and a bit like they've not earned it. Cody Rhodes earned this last night because he
Oh,
like as well as winning it,
massively.
he went a good 10 minutes with Gunther at the end and took a fair bit of punishment on that peck. So they told the story really well and actually made him look like a deserved winner from number 30, even though the last elimination was the guy from number one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, him and Gunther going at it for about 10 minutes in there was great.
Yeah. And I
And
mean,
also,
this was also a great match for Gunther because we touch on he broke the endurance record last night. It's 1 hour 11.
I think it was 1 hour 11. Yeah,
Yeah, 1 hour 11:34 and 1 hour 11:36, I think.
it's
So
crazy.
they've clearly got. I mean, we all know it. The guy's a superstar in the making. They've clearly got big plans for the guy. At some point over the next couple of years, he's going to be very much in the world title picture and probably going to be a world champion.
I am. We had a bit of a moment between Gunther and Brock Lesnar as well, which is a match that I think everyone would love to see. Maybe a SummerSlam. I wouldn't be against that SummerSlam. I think that might
Yeah,
be.
I mean, I'd be up to see anybody take on Brock Lesnar as long as it isn't somebody with a world title around their waist.
Yeah, but this match did a really good job at making you think Gunther might win it as well, even though he is the Intercontinental Champion. There was moments where you go, are they actually just they're gonna do this? They're gonna pull the trigger. There was a few, but no. Unfortunately, the adrenaline in his soul allowed him to win
Yeah,
the
I
Royal
mean,
Rumble match.
I never had those thoughts. For me, it was always like once you got down to that final two, once Rollins was out, it was like, okay, there's only one of these guys that are winning this now.
Yeah,
Um,
abs-
I mean, the only thing they could have done would have been had Gunther win it in a kind of controversial way, and then set up a match between the two at the Chamber, which Cody wins to get the title match back.
yeah.
But yeah, I just couldn't. I think last night was about setting Gunther up and taking him to the next level, and God, they've done that.
Absolutely. Yeah, a really good Rumble match. Much better than last year's, that's for sure, but you can't really get much worse than last year's.
Oh
At least
yeah,
we didn't have at least we didn't have Shane McMahon in it. Um, but yeah, really good Rumble match. Solid. A few nice surprises. Booker T as well. I forgot to mention Booker came in for a minute or two.
yeah,
That was
which I
pretty
would have called on Friday had somebody told me that it was in Texas and not Philadelphia.
I'm sorry, I was wrong there. No Shawn Michaels though, so that
No,
was a shame.
it's up to me to know. I should have known, but yeah, I mean, they were bound to throw out a Texan or two. Would have been nice if it had been Stone Cold in a in
No,
a way,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing him around Mania time anyway. But
Most
remember,
likely.
yeah, the book came out. He did his spin end. He threw his spin a Rooney. He threw a bookend or two. Got eliminated quite quickly.
Shocking ducky.
But that was about the only sort of surprise, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he had a few returns, but I think it was like the only legend surprise.
Yeah,
I
no,
guess
I'd
you
say it was the only surprise. With the exception of Beth Phoenix coming out and spearing Rhea Ripley to hell in the alleyway, which was
yeah, that was there was a lot of good moments in this. I felt like this Rumble was consistently alive. Stuff was always happening. They didn't feel like there was 5 or 10 minutes where nothing was going on. Every entrant there was something new happening, which is nice.
And I think it was important. I think it was important that it started the show actually because
Oh,
it kind
massively.
of, it gets the energy going, it keeps the energy going. It was a good way to start it.
Yeah, absolutely. Next, we go to the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match between Bray Wyatt and LA Knight.
I was pleased that I put on green trousers for that match as well.
How on earth do we describe this? Um,
Um, it was a dark match under UV lights. There were some cool bits, like when the UV lights came on, you could see all the makeup on Wyatt's face, and that
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 was
was
cool. That was cool.
pretty sick. Um, LA Knight had fluorescent pants on. It allowed McAfee to make a joke about how if he'd had urine on his trousers, it would have shown up under the UV lights. Um, it was
Um,
actually a better match than I was expecting. I was expecting this to be an absolute squash.
yeah,
But
it was.
LA Knight kind of held his own a bit, and we had some decent moments with like green shit being thrown around over the announce table and stuff. And it's like, what was the green shit? Um,
It
but
was the blood of Vince McMahon.
yeah, and I mean, you mentioned Shane McMahon earlier. Did he cameo as Uncle Howdy at the end, taking an elbow drop off the top of a very big structure and exploding?
Yeah, that moment was a shame because unfortunately Uncle Howdy entirely missed where LA Knight was. But a very cool moment either way. But just the visual was a bit ruined. But yeah, it was a really good match. It wasn't too long. Didn't overstay its welcome. Bray Wyatt got the W. I mean, cool, I guess. Like it's the issue is this Bray Wyatt's trainer has to start going somewhere. I think like we have to start getting more clues to Uncle Howdy because every week Uncle Howdy comes out and he goes, "No, Bray, you need to embrace yourself." And Bray goes, "No, I'm all right, mate. Not this week." And then, so next week he did the same thing over again.
It was me, Bray. It was me all along.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Um,
um, but no, speaking of small spooky bollocks, the next match was Bianca and Alexa for the Raw Women's title. Uh, this was a good match. Could have been given a bit more time.
it was all right. Yeah, it was all right. Pretty standard Bel Air match to be honest, but no, it was all right. I think if there was a weak point in the show, this was it.
Yeah.
Um, this was maybe where my interest waned a little bit, but no, it was all right. I Bianca's very talented. Alexa's always very watchable. For super, a number of reasons, and yeah, it was all right. Um, still your champion.
Yeah, and then after the match we got some more spooky stuff. Um it's okay, I guess. I'm not trying to be negative from the off, but I just hope that they're not doing this just to rehash the story. Something's got to be different here with Alexa and Bray if they do it. They can't just reunite for the shits of it. I want
They
something
didn't. I
needs
mean,
to.
bear in mind they didn't get to tell the proper story last time, did they? They didn't get to finish the story last time.
Indeed, they didn't. I just hope that it allows. I mean, obviously, with Trips writing, you could tell that Trips has more of a love and respect for kind of the more fictional side of wrestling. So maybe with,
But you've also got two very good performers.
yeah,
I trust. Yes, I trust the writing, but I also trust Bray and Alexa
yeah,
impeccably. They've got chemistry. You've got two very good performers. Obviously, Bray has a fair amount of creative input into his characters. He always has. So, he's not going to allow it to get stale because the guy's a creative genius.
yeah, absolutely. And it could be three really good performers if the identity of Uncle Howdy is to be true.
Shane McMahon.
No, apparently it's meant to be Bo Dallas, which would be quite interesting. Obviously, Bray's real life brother, which if that is Shane McMahon, you still know Shane McMahon.
But you did a fucking 30-foot elbow drop. I mean, he missed it, but that's because
If I,
that's what the lights were off.
if Uncle Howdy is revealed to be Shane McMahon, you heard it here first, everyone.
Yeah.
Shane McMahon is Uncle Howdy. Here comes the money. But no,
Money. Dollar, 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 dollar.
next up we had our women's 30 over the top battle Royal Rumble. And it started off with the Mammy. They kept calling her out on commentary now. So my microphone's gone out. I fixed it. Yeah, they keep calling her that on commentary, and it's just a bit bizarre, isn't it?
Bit weird.
But Rhea Ripley was number one, along with Liv Morgan at number two. And I'm gonna be honest, I was like, oh no, Liv's about to get absolutely battered. She didn't. Apart from that, we had a few more cameos in this one, but I've to say, John, I'm really happy with this year's Women's Rumble match because this was the first one where it didn't feel like just cameo fest. You're gonna get 20 cameos and then 10 of the proper roster. This time it was more like 2010 to the cameo side with the actual proper women's
Yeah,
roster.
it showed off the depth that we've got on the roster. I mean, would there? I mean, is there more I would have liked to see? Yes. Would I have liked to see Toxic Attraction play a part in the Rumble? Yes. I was happy 97% of the way until
Yeah,
entrant number 30,
we'll get to that.
which we will get to. But yeah, I mean, I agree. There was some good storytelling in this. You know, you had Damage Control absolutely fucking bossing it for a while,
Yeah,
which you know, that's what they should be doing.
yeah. Yeah, as well. We also had some really nice NXT cameos. I used to would love to see Toxic Attraction, but we did get Roxanne Perez, who is brilliant. As well, we also saw some returns. Like we saw Chelsea Green back for 2 seconds,
For about 6 seconds.
which was a massive shame because she's brilliant.
Yeah.
And just throughout. Who else did we? Michelle McCall came in from the crowd. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Like I say, we had Toxic Attraction just bossing it. We had the big return of the Empress of Tomorrow in Asuka, and that was really cool as well. She had some really cool like face paint, and she bossed it for a bit.
Obviously, the continuation of the Becky and Bailey storyline, we can kind of see where that's going. Because obviously, with Becky being eliminated by Damage Control,
Yeah,
we can kind of see where that's going. Yeah, it was very good, some very nice spots. And then, well, I was going to say, and then number 30 hits, but not quite. And then some music plays about 10 seconds before number 30 hits.
I can't believe that they screwed that up so
Oh,
badly.
I can.
So
And who is it? Who is the wonderful number 30 entrant who has got the
well,
hallowed position? You know,
well,
is it a returning Sasha Banks? Is it Naomi? You know, is it someone from Toxic Attraction? Maybe Cora Jade coming over from NXT. It's Nia Jax.
she's not like most girls. But no,
She's
it's the
not
fact
like most
that
girls.
there, there, there,
They botched the entrance.
there
She
will never
had
be
two.
nothing funnier.
Hang on, they botched the entrance. She then had two botched spots in the match with a couple of the ladies. Rhea was one. Who was the other one?
I was too busy laughing at this point.
Perez?
It
Or
might have been Perez. It might have been Perez. It might have been Raquel Gonzalez by that
Raquel
point.
Gonzalez. Yeah, a couple of botched. So yeah, a botched entrance, a couple of botched spots, slung out by 11 women. And I mean, that pretty much sums up Nia Jax. The only thing that was missing is that nobody got fucking hurt.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sorry,
can't.
you've been here before. I am not a fan.
No, me neither. I can't lie. I was laughing my head off when I heard the music play and then the countdown started. And you just had the crowd go. You could audibly hear the crowd go, "Oh." She's not like most girls plays. But yeah, no, what
Oh, my
dumb.
hole!
It's just dumb. Like nobody was asking for this. I get that Triple H wants to bring back people that got unjustified, and yes, she was one of them. But Christ, there is a level of just.
unjustly is
It was
a
just part of
very
the layoffs for to help Vince McMahon.
unjustly is a very subjective word, and I would question whether she, you know, I'll be honest about this. All joking aside, she scares me.
Oh yeah,
But whenever she is in a ring, I am scared because people get hurt. She had two botches in the ring last night. Thankfully, nobody got hurt.
yeah,
But no, she's scared, and I don't. I mean, they even made reference to one of the botches during the match. She's like, "Oh yeah, well, Nia was responsible for a key point in WWE Evolution a few years ago when she broke Becky's nose." He's like, "Don't talk like that was fucking deliberate."
yeah. It is an interesting. I really hope it's not going to be, but I really hope it's just a cameo and she goes away again and she's not back
Yeah,
permanently.
and she's back.
I can't. Well, anyway, let's get to she got eliminated and the Rumble's good again. We're back to good rumbling.
Yeah, she's there for about 2 minutes, which is good.
Yeah, and then we're back to good rumbling, and it ended up with Rhea Ripley going all the way from number one, the first ever woman to do that, from number one to number 30, and
Yeah,
she
our number one and
wins.
two were our number one and two at the end, which again I called last night.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I think John booked the show. I can't lie. Maybe not the Nia Jax spot based on
not.
that
I
spot.
mean, okay. Had I booked the show, that wouldn't have been Nia Jax, and had I booked the show, we'd have been going the other way around with the final two. But
Yeah, but
it was
yeah,
it was a nice finish actually because obviously Asuka was involved in the finishes as well. You got the final finish with Rhea, Liv, and Asuka. Asuka throws out the green mist, hits Liv, who cannot fucking see. Asuka gets eliminated. You've got Rhea and Liv on the apron. Liv kind of flailing and kicking because she can't see what's going on. Rhea nearly gets eliminated, but eliminates Liv.
yeah, and as Pat
Like it
McAfee
sets us up for Liv and Asuka possibly as well, which is
Essentially, that'd be a cool feud. But as Pat McAfee for some reason exclaimed on commentary, "Mammy is going to WrestleMania." Stop calling her Mammy on commentary. The joke is that Dom's a fucking weirdo. Why are the commentators calling her Mammy? It's weird. Don't.
I mean, for a start, they're all twice her age,
Yeah.
and for another thing, it's a little bit Al Jolson.
It's just. It's like when it first started. When it first started, the joke was that Dom's a bit of a simp weirdo. But now,
if there's one thing that the last 100 years should have taught us, is that white guys saying "mammy" has no place in entertainment.
ouch. That is
keeping that in.
that is a very British joke, but
It's not.
is it not?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was.
I'll explain it. I'll explain it to you when we're off air.
I might be misinterpreting the joke. Anyway, now we go to the best part of the night, which was a 5-minute music performance from Hardy.
Who?
Who? My favorite thing was I was on Twitter at this point because I was bored as shit. And I saw Dustin Rhodes' tweet of sorry, that wasn't country. Sorry, not sorry. But yeah, actually, let's get to our main event of the evening for the undisputed WWE Universal Champion.
As someone raised on country music, that was not country.
Yeah. Our main event, obviously, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. Crowd hot for this one. Roman Reigns comes out with his special counsel, Paul Heyman and Sami Zayn. No Usos or Solo to be seen at this point. And we get a nice 20-minute match to start with. Just a nice 20-minute match. Good. Your regular fare between KO and Roman. Good stuff. Then about the 20-minute mark is where things start to get interesting. There's a ref bump. Kevin Owens has won the Universal title, but there's no ref to count it. So then Reigns tells Sami to get a chair. Sami reluctantly gives Roman the chair. By that point, though, it's too late. Kevin Owens takes control. Then Roman almost loses the title. He looks shocked at Sammy. Then he spears Kevin through the barricade, and it's like Sammy, you can tell, is now beginning to question whether his allegiances are in the right place. And unfortunately, it only goes downhill from there with Roman Reigns essentially knocking KO's head against some steel steps once, twice, no, three times before being able to put KO back in the ring, hit with one final spear. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns is still your undisputed WWE Universal Champion, but it does not end there. Then the Usos and Solo head down to the ring. Jay is about to put the what would you call the necklace? I suppose
It's called a lei.
it's going to put the lei on Sami Zayn.
It might just be a Hawaiian thing. It's basically a garland.
Cool. He's about to put that on Sammy, but then Roman says no, and they continue to beat up Kevin Owens. Super kick, super kick, super kick. They then attach Kevin Owens to the ring. More super kicks, more super kicks. Samoan spikes. Then he tells Sammy to hit KO with the chair. And you have Roman Reigns wonderfully walk in front of Sammy. And to mirror that time where Seth Rollins betrayed Roman Reigns, Sammy hits him with the chair. And then the look of shock on Roman's face. Sammy gets beaten up by Jey Uso and Solo Sikoa, but Jey Uso won't do it. Jey Uso leaves the ring, walks up the ramp crying, whilst Roman Reigns lays waste to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And that is how your show closes. Lots of drama. Lots of drama. How good was this? How good was it?
I mean, I'm going to start by saying I don't think that this was a standard 20-minute match. Go back and watch it and watch Sammy on the outside. Sammy's reactions to every near fall are questionable.
Yeah.
You can't tell whether he is rooting for Kevin or not. It's brilliant. Every now and then, and this only happens maybe once every 2 or 3 years. Every now and then, you get a moment in wrestling that elevates the product. You know, people can be very snarky about wrestling in terms of the storytelling, etc. Every now and then you get something that happens and it's poetry and it's the perfect drama. And this is what we got last night. Everybody was watching Sammy and expecting Sammy to be the story. Nobody saw that Jey Uso reaction coming.
Yeah.
And this is a seed that was planted 2.5 years ago. And it's beautiful. I love it when long-term storytelling like that comes in. And yes, you've also got the callback with the chair shot, which is brilliant because anybody that's been watching for long enough, like we have, knows that the reason for Roman's insecurities around Sammy's loyalty, around the Usos' loyalty, is because of what happened with the Shield. Is because of the Seth's betrayal, which goes back, what, to 2015?
Yes. No, 2014, sorry.
Well, nearly 10 years. A callback to that is brilliant. It's perfect. And everybody played their part perfectly last night. Roman was brilliant. Sammy was amazing. But props to Jey Uso.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can tell how good it was. You can tell how good it was because the WWE kept in the "fuck you, Roman" chants.
Yeah, and they were loud.
And they were very loud. And you know, I woke up. Well, I kind of went to sleep at about 7 o'clock. I woke up at about 9 o'clock, and I went to sleep and woke up very happy and very proud to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah,
because that was something special last night.
absolutely. Yeah, I think props to Jey Uso because it's the person that hated Sammy for the longest time, and who's actually you can tell has grown to love Sammy. This is and it's you can tell. I hope that this isn't. I hope the route they go down isn't a ruse thing where Jey Uso is pretending. I really hope this is like a breakup of the bloodline.
But it's
Um,
but it's also somebody realizing that for 2 years they've been gaslit by somebody that they have trusted. It's that moment of realization that actually they have been duped and gaslit by somebody who is their blood.
yep, absolutely. What a moment.
I mean, this sets us up beautifully for Mania, actually, because what's the deal with the tag titles now? I think that it could go one of two ways. Either Jay gets encouraged back into the fold, or all of a sudden you've got Jimmy and Solo defending the belts, which
Hmm.
I mean, Raw Raw on Monday kind of sowed the seed for actually somebody else can come in and
Hmm.
because you had Sammy come in on Monday night, so they've now seemed to have shown that they are applying the Freebird rule to the bloodline. So you could have Jimmy and Solo defending them. Um, it'll be against KO and Sammy.
Hmm. With Jey
Uh,
Uso's special referee, that'd be interesting.
yeah, yeah, but it's interesting to see what happens from here.
Absolutely. I'm happy this was the main event. I'm happy this was our closing image for the show. I think even though maybe a triumphant Cody or Rhea win would have been a nice closing image, I think no fan would have been able to get past this.
I mean, it's unusual to have the title match as the main event of WrestleMania, but Royal Rumble, but it's not unprecedented. It's
Yeah,
not. They've done it before, and I think it was the right decision here. Nothing could have followed this.
yeah, absolutely.
You know,
I think overall it sums
you
up
don't
a
do
very
anything else because you had one man handcuffed to the fucking ropes, and the entire ring was covered in fucking flower petals. But
yeah, yeah. But no, first of all, I think it was a great show with one of the best endings to a pay-per-view in a very long
and
time.
people that have watched this will be talking about it for years.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
It'll
gonna be
go
one of
down
the
in history as one of the defining moments in WWE, one of the defining moments in Roman Reigns' career, and it's a key point in the storytelling. I think this is where things start to fall apart, and this is where he becomes beatable, and
yeah,
it leads us into Mania.
just in time for some adrenaline in someone's soul, to kick in and take those belts off him.
Well, take both of them or one of them. I mean, it's. I still think they might have him do double duty and split the belts.
Who would you have the second night or the first night? Who would you be have to be the other person? Do you still think the Rocky could appear? Or do you think that's gone now?
I mean, in the press conference last night, Triple H was actually asked about it, and he basically said, "Well, according to you guys, he's not fit. That doesn't mean he's not going to be fit in 9 weeks."
Oh, hey,
And it is Hollywood.
they got to do it, haven't they? They got to do it. I
Yeah,
think.
I mean, if he doesn't come back now, he's done. I think, and he may not, but if he doesn't come back now, he's done.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was the right choice not to bring him out in this segment because really, him saving Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, why the hell would he do that? Like,
Yeah, I think him making an appearance, it's for after the Rumble.
yeah,
It's for, I mean, tomorrow, Friday night, you're gonna have a situation where bit of a bloodline feud. Jay's getting balled out.
Well, he might come to Jey Uso's aid, actually.
Who knows?
Might be interesting. However, there's something did scare me, John. I will end it with this. Just to let you know that my friend I was with last night did say that, remember, Nia Jax is related to the bloodline. So just have that thought in the back of your mind at any point.
Well, you can see who got all the fucking talent.
Jesus. And on that note, I think that'll be it for our Royal Rumble review show. John, thank you so much for joining me today. You can follow him on Twitter at John Burns Cook. You can follow me on Twitter, Alex King Dom. You can follow the show at the Timeless Pod. We'll be back tomorrow. Well, we won't be, but us from November will be. So Twin Dilemma podcast is out tomorrow. And then I don't know if we'll be doing another one before we go to LA. We might be. It depends on timage and how busy I am. If not, then the next time you'll see us will be on a plane traveling to America. So until then, though, guys, please do take care. We'll see you all soon. And goodbye.
Good night. God bless. Don't have nightmares. Do sleep well. Oh my.